Let them fight after fight after fight. They'll step forward. Gravitic Flux plus a Railgun equals a whole lot of dead players on the side of Huntington Beach. This card is going all the way through Coliseum.
East versus West. I think that's also a cool little dynamic that we got playing out here. We've got the Pacific Youth Champion going up against the Eastern Youth Champion in this matchup, and two teams that have been dominant through the bracket as well. Really looking forward to this one, man. But
also, what capabilities these individuals bring to the field as well. So we're going to see some pretty unique stuff, I'd hope.
Yeah, looking straight up. I mean, already, I would say Brooklyn Technical is the team that I would say has the composition that I would expect more in this scenario here, but definitely still some brawl potential on the side of Huntington Beach as well. Going to see how they wind up standing off against each other. Toxic Void already down low and taken down already. Yeah, positionally, this is kind of the dream for Brooklyn Technical, right? Just take this choke, use it to avoid a lot of that poke that's coming out from the Sigma, coming out from the Baptiste, who's now down. The slow but sure push, one that Brooklyn Technical will pick up a win on. Exactly. All right, second engagement coming around. No ultimates are up yet, so this one's not any more special than the last. That being said, the result does look relatively similar. Quick picks off onto the back line means a quick win. To see, though, Brooklyn Technical, they've done this quite often. It feels like they really want to give into that brawl, and it does seem like they are able to kind of battle things out over time through attrition, something that this composition is going to enable them to do now long enough so that they can get that sound barrier online. That's going to be a win condition for them, and they need it now. It's 90% for Brooklyn Technical.
Oh, but boy, crossing this line onto the point's going to cost them a lot in terms of health bar. Not to mention the fact that, like you said, the Annihilation's online, and it immediately spaces the backline away. The sound barrier comes up, but it's only onto two! Only CKC and Atlas caught it. The entire backline left stranded amidst the wrath of David Newman, who's going to take the rest of this point for Brooklyn Technical.
Say pretty clinical for Brooklyn Technical here. I mean, they lost that first engagement. They made a swap. Took them a little bit of time, but now we can see them going over to that next point, and they have some momentum to build off of the longer kind of drawn-out brawling style that we see from Brooklyn Technical. Yes, it's still solid, but they've been winning these fights, getting those opening picks, and that's been something that I think Huntington Beach needs to look out for, and without some of these support ults, it's going to make it even harder.
We saw Used only caught two members, didn't quite get them what they needed. Now they're going to step forward with the help of a Deadeye. They're able to pick up one off the back of it, and the tank's going to be enough. Huntington Beach are down and likely out. Sound barrier absolutely will not buy you back into this fight.
I still like this from Huntington Beach.
How much do you have for the next? Maybe saving does have some merit here. Pulse Bomb pulls the sound barrier early. A huge play by Keone forces the ultimate out from Atlas. And now that advantage that we talked about for Huntington Beach has been cut down at the knees. Brooklyn Technical fall back onto the point and now just have to try and play their space. They're able to. Huntington Beach forced into the choke point, forced to step forward where they don't want to go. An attempt at fighting back comes out from CKC, but it's going to take a miracle. EV-Dog getting some work done in the backline to help our CKC. Chops ever lower, and it's Brooklyn Technical coming out on top. Keone with a huge play to finish off that point. That being said, ult economy is dead even here. It's elbow grease and a couple of pulse bombs for either of these teams. Keone got something done last time to see if Andrew can equalize. Tanks step in for the initial engagement. Pulse bomb out for one side. Andrew yet to retort. Immo's out and sustain, burning down at CKC to fall first. No pulse bomb out of Andrew. Huntington Beach will just call this one quits.
Even now, Andrew, the one thing that would have allowed them to get that overtime tick, which he did succeed at, I mean, how else are you going to be able to extend this fight? You don't have ultimates really as well, and now you certainly don't have a touch. And just like that, Mogwarts get the early lead.
An impressive display of control as well over the ult economy. They had the thing by the neck pretty much the entire time. And it was, yes, I think slightly better, slightly more efficient usage, but when it came down to mechanics, I felt both teams felt strong, felt like they were stepping in with a lot of the right ideas. Brooklyn Technical, though, were so measured in how they spent and where they spent their ultimates that it really does make you feel like they have a stranglehold over the entire map. It makes it look like the gap is maybe larger than it is, but realistically, with a couple of small changes here, I think Huntington Beach still are in this thing. Summing them out, you expect big things from Lil Zoom Zoom, and as we head into Coliseum, I think this is an interesting map because it opens up the door a little bit in terms of compositions. That Sigma that we were talking about on the last map certainly does peek its head out here every once in a while. Here, it's going to keep Andrew kind of at arm's length for the entirety of the game. It also makes it difficult for the Kiriko to flank. This is a really cool and interesting composition for Brooklyn Technical. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I mean, between the Torb and the Lucio able to mark Andrew, it definitely denies him some of that aggression, and you can already see it's paying dividends.
Yeah, I mean, how do you approach that if you're Andrew? Like, what do you do? There's a Torb turn looking at you, a Lucio Torb. Yeah, it's gonna be. There's a good chance Andrew just goes back and swaps, but 79% to a pulse bomb. Maybe they just try to hold on here. Speeding forward are Brooklyn Technical looking to clean up one or two more, but they're not gonna get them. It's gonna be the Gravitic Flux popped first by Lil Zoom Zoom, matched by a sound barrier, but it's not put onto Andrew and Love My Mom again. It only catches 3 members of the team. Huntington Beach are gonna be put down yet again.
Once they broke that sound barrier bonus health, it was easy for them to get those kills, and now Brooklyn Technical can step up. They have a huge advantage because they have their own sound barrier.
Oh, how did CKC go down? Amidst all of their teammates as well. I thought the Molten Cores just kind of hold them off until they could push this under the bridge to a slightly safer position to have the card in, but no, they've taken space with it. They've moved all the way up onto this bridge. What an aggressive move by Brooklyn Technical, and they've got more ultimates behind that. This is going to be a difficult nut to crack for Huntington Beach. Brooklyn Technical also know that ultimate's up, so they start backing away again. Disengage is in the name of the game for the team in red, and they do it beautifully every single time, forcing overextensions out of EVDog, out of Andrew. You can see CKC is just desperately trying to get to this team so that he can use the pummel on them, but they can't. The wrong end of a Torb turret yet again. Genghis Khan has broken this match open time and time again. Overclock from the high ground available for David Newman, but they'll be patient. Look at this from Brooklyn Technical, so measured in their approach, not trying to overstep their bounds. Instead, playing that disengage game, playing them the game that's won them fight after fight after fight. They'll step forward. Gravitic Flux plus a railgun equals a whole lot of dead players on the side of Huntington Beach. This card is going all the way through Coliseum.
Yeah, no trouble at all for Brooklyn Technical. They get the job done a second time in a row, and not often do you see a full cap on Coliseum, but the Mogwarts get the job done, and they are one step closer, one step away from a finals win if they can lock it down. It's now more about Huntington Beach and what are they going to be able to do to find a way back into this series. Right now, they are down 2-0. I mean, backs against the wall, and we have yet another sub here. Keone is coming in now instead of Genghis Khan. So Keone comes back in, one of the stars, I would say, of the first map. Now makes a return for map number 3. Potentially could be the last map in this series.
The Huntington Beach have to respect it and back off. End Monster caught out with a cheeky little headshot from Love My Mom. I think that puts Brooklyn Technical enough on the back foot that they at least have to take a respawn here.
Right, building up this economy, something that we're going to see here early. Is this nano boost? How can they stave it off?
Seems like relatively doable for them. A third dive in from the Monkey as it's followed up by a duplicated Ramattra. They finally get in on the backline. It takes a few more ultimates than I think Brooklyn Technical would have liked to spend there, but a point's a point. It's so close every single time. That being said, I think it's a pretty good position for Huntington Beach. I'd be okay with this. 4 minutes on the clock, full ultimate advantage. I think it's like a 4 ult plus that they're on right now. There is a lot of room to play here. If they can make these fights efficient, just like that. 1 ult, 1 kill, 1 elimination, and you're done. Put Brooklyn Technical on the back foot, clean up a few more, take it to the next one. This is what they need to do to take advantage of the fact that Brooklyn Technical spent so big on that last fight to take point A.
It certainly looks like a much different Huntington Beach, but man, that early focus from Brooklyn Technical is so difficult to deal with.
Yeah, especially, it might have been a deflected railgun into EVDog. If we're being real, that's a tough way to go. And Huntington Beach, more than happy to try and fight this one back. CKC popping in Annihilation, making sure they can hold that space. It's working well against Brooklyn Technical, who are still without impactful ultimate. End Monster had a rally, but it went down immediately, and it's 2 ultimates to win the fight. Yes, from Huntington Beach, but, you know, 2 for 1, you're still not mad at. It's going to be a dead even fight here. One that Huntington Beach want to take the front foot on. CKC dives in the backline, immediately catches an anti-nade, but Andrew picks up on an unsuspecting Toxic Void as the rest of Huntington Beach tries to follow up. It's picked off 1 for 1, but without an Ana. How does Brooklyn Tech want to try to sustain this? They won't. Instead, they back away, trying to bide their time for that respawn.
This is an advantage here for Brooklyn Technical with that blade and I mean, Keone just... he almost got taken out there. That was a little bit worrisome, I have to admit.
And there's still a lot of danger here with the Amplification Matrix coming out. Slicing at the Lucio, does manage to get it. Now look for Baptiste. That's the backline gone for Huntington Beach. Brooklyn Technical pick up a fight win. Again! Yo, Andrew! Create something here. Looks for one more, can't find it, buys a little more time on the cart. There will be a re-engage here, and it may be enough considering those picks.
Position. They do wind up taking it. And look at this position, too. They hold the corner.
Oh, it's so good for Huntington Beach. And now they can just disengage this Kitsune Rush. If they can back out, buy time for that sound barrier. Now it's their turn to re-engage. Sound barrier, Andrew goes down before it pops, but it's their turn to engage. The sound barrier allows them to take down David Newman and thrusts CKC into the back line of Brooklyn Technical, who are sent careening down the hill from which they came.
Zoom. CKC still has Annihilation, but look, Huntington Beach is down 3 players, and now even more.
Annihilation! The Ramatra doesn't pop the Annihilation. Why wouldn't you? It's 250, 300 free extra health. Probably would have bought them the fight.
And Brooklyn Technical has taken advantage.
Brooklyn Tech have been at their best when they can use a bunch of ultimates. Right now, it's the Nano Blade out early for Keone. Slashing away at the Lucio, booped off, taken down by CKC. One of the strongest ultimate combos in the game has been eliminated at the cost of 0, but Brooklyn Technical are able to follow up with a little bit of Doomfist magic and pick up a fight win. The question is, can Huntington Beach actually stabilize before this cart crosses the line?
Oh, it's going to be a difficult task for them. 45 seconds on the clock, though. Brooklyn Technical looks like they have more than enough potentially here. I don't know if anybody's going to even touch to get backed off, and just like that, Brooklyn Technical go the distance.
What a nightmare for Huntington Beach. They're going to have to fight all the way through it as well. The name of the game here for Huntington Beach is don't die. If you live, you should be all right. They can't stand on the cart forever. You have the close range potential, and that's exactly what it is. David Newman did not respect Huntington Beach at close range, tried to fight, and you got bit. Brooklyn Technical need to be fighting from range with this composition.
David Newman is the one to look out for here. In terms of tempo, David Newman is the one setting it, I think, a lot of times, trying to make that frenetic pacing work for Brooklyn Technical so they can have that long, drawn-out brawl. We saw even back on map number 1, but now without the support of the Primal, and you can't get out.
The Ravenous Vortex, disgusting from CKC.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, says I love my mom. Yeah, that was a hard one to watch.
They also have some fantastic economy going into this next fight. It's 4v4, and Lil Zoom opening things up.
Arguably far better ultimates for Huntington Beach, though. Let's be very real with ourselves. Those DPS ultimates early here. I think they're gifting it. Yeah, I think they're Sound Barrier, Annihilation. A little bit of a spend going forward. Lil Zoom is able to find Love My Mom. This is not over yet. The health bars are still low enough for Brooklyn Technical. This can be won. It's going to come down to the DPS to really do it, though. Zoom Zoom's causing a ton of problems. Andrew picks up a 1v1, looking for the kill. Isn't able to get it. Zoom cleans up the entire backline of Huntington Beach, and that is the entire 4 ultimate advantage they had garnered for themselves down the drain at the hands of one Tracer player.
Opportunity for Huntington Beach, and it looks like they are going to go ahead and just kind of play with the food a little bit, but it's Huntington Beach that are going to have the last lap. 5 ultimates coming into this next fight. They still have a decent time bank to work with as long as they're able to kind of push this fight, this last fight win, into a solid fight that's cheap and economical. I think that's going to be the key for Huntington Beach.
It all comes up neutral. Sound Barrier engage as they step forward using the Annihilation. All of the sustain's been popped. Dragging into the backline, shuts off the disengage from Huntington Beach. Brooklyn Tech are coming up big, but there's only 2 up for either side. David Newman, Lil Zoom up against CKC and Andrew. Tank and Tracer up against Tank and Tracer. Ramatra on the back foot. No way of gaining the same shields that the Doomfist does. Has to run it all the way back to spawn. Huntington Beach take another loss. They cannot afford one more. You can see how aggressively they're trying to take space here, but the Doomfist and Lil Zoom are holding them at arm's length. You can imagine how far away that On is, how impossible they are to reach. Brooklyn Technical look invincible in this position.
There's desperation here for Huntington Beach.
Desperately, they'll try to shut cards. They get 2 picks out of this. Huntington Beach aren't out of it yet. But as they fall away from the cart, Brooklyn Technical prove their superiority. A 3-0 decisive victory for the Overwatch National Champions.
Map and what potential they showed. If we would have seen that through, for them through the entire series, how different this could have turned out. But nonetheless, Brooklyn Technical, they are the champions today. And man, did they play well.